Director is also not comfortable addressing the nation on these issues. She was addressing the commissioners, and I think it's fair that the commissioners note it and deal with it privately. I don't know what the position is.
It's a request to the commission indeed, but she can indicate to the commission what she prefers, how she prefers to deal with the request, because it falls slightly outside what you have asked her to come and testify on, Chair. Perhaps we can find out how do you want to deal with this request. Are you comfortable reading in public, or you want to leave it for the commissioners to consider it at an appropriate time?
Commissioners, I would like the commissioner to look into the document, not for me to read it out on public, because it is the security issues.
Okay.
Thank you. Thank you, Assistant Director.
Then, Chair, also...
we will
yes.
consider it.
Thank you, Commissioner.
Thank you.
And then what had happened as well, Chair, is that the Assistant Director had also given us a supplementary affidavit. But the nub of it really deals with the security concerns that she raises in her request. So perhaps we might just have to find out from her if she wants to, again, follow the same process, that the contents of that supplementary not be read because of the sensitivity of the issues raised there.
Should we handle the content of the supplementary affidavit or statement similarly as
Correct, Commissioner.
the document we referred to just now?
That's correct.
We will consider that as well.
Thank you, Commissioners.
Can you maybe just confirm that this is your supplementary statement, and on page 6 that is your signature?
Is it in this? Where's the statement? The supplementary
It's a
statement?
separate folder, just immediately after the... No, not that
this one.
After the request.
After the request. Oh.
You will see that it says index to statement.
Yes, I can see.
Yes, and then you go to page 6 of that. That's where the signature of that statement is. Can you confirm the signature?
I confirm the statement, Commissioners. That's
And you
my
confirm
statement.
also the signature there too?
I confirm the signature.
Yes.
Yes, Mr. Musigiri.
Yes, Chair. If that's the approach preferred by the Assistant Director, Chair, then that would be the end of our questions, because that's really the section that was left to deal with after lunch, Chair.
Thank you.
Yes,
Thank you,
thank
Mr. Musigiri. Thank you very much, Assistant Director. You are excused.
Thank you, Commissioners.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Good afternoon, Commissioners.
Good afternoon,
This
Ms. Bowler.
afternoon, we will be starting the testimony of witness I. If we can just ask for a short indulgence so that we can make sure we're properly connected, and then we'll be ready to proceed.
Okay. We'll hear from you then. Let's adjourn.
Member downstairs.
Yeah, 0 for now.
The hearing. Please switch off your devices. Thank you.
Yes, Ms. Bowen.
Chair, witness I is joining us virtually with only his voice. Pursuant to an order that was granted last week, he is online and has confirmed that he can hear us. Witness I has also indicated that he will be taking the oath.
Good afternoon, witness I.
Afternoon, Commissioners.
Do you swear that the evidence you are going to give is the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth? If so, please raise your right hand and say, "So help me God."
So help me God.
Thank you.
Witness I, I'm going to start with confirming your statement and the files that you have in front of you. So you should have two files in front of you. The first being a statement file. Can you confirm that you have that?
Yes, I have that.
And the second should be labeled Stain Exhibit File 2.
Yes, I have that too.
And then, witness I, if you can then go into the statement file, you will see that the first document is your statement. Can you confirm that this is a statement you have prepared for purposes of giving testimony before this commission?
Yes, I confirm that.
And please go to page 18 of your statement. Can you confirm that that is your signature on page 18?
Yes, that's my signature.
And then can you confirm that the contents of this statement are true and correct?
Yes, I confirm that.
Thank you, Witness I. Witness I, Commissioners, for this session, Witness I will go through his statement relatively uninterrupted. There will be some clarity-seeking questions from myself or the Commissioners, and then thereafter we'll move to the second stage. But for now, Witness I, if we can start with your statement. You can proceed with paragraph 1.
Paragraph 1 or 2, Commissioner.
My apologies. I had indicated to Witness I that we aren't going to go into paragraph 1, rather that he will start at paragraph 2.
Okay, paragraph 2. I have a national diploma in accounting from University of Johannesburg and did courses within SAPS, introductory police training, basic crime investigative practice, serious and violent crimes, SVC, street survival, legal principles, vehicle crime investigators course, discipline management processes learning program, detective commanders learning program, and presently I'm studying MBA in executive leadership with Wolf University.
Thank you, Witness I. Can you then move to deal with your service history? It's unnecessary to set out what we asked of you in the Rule 10.6 notice. So you can move to paragraph 5.
Okay, paragraph 5. I began my employment in law enforcement with the Directorate of Special Operations, DSO, commonly known as Scorpions, in 2002, and remained there as an investigator until 2009 when DSO was disbanded. Members were transferred to the Directorate for Priority Crime Investigation, DPCI, in 2009. And I was based at Serious Organized Crime Unit. In 2021, I was team leader for South African Narcotics Enforcement Bureau, SANAP, a specialized unit within the South African Police Service, primarily responsible for investigating drug-related crime, including trafficking and local drug manufacturing. Number 6, in 2023, I accepted a transfer to Tactical Operations Management Section, TOMS, under the command of Brigadier Smith then, but now under command of Brigadier Mukwen. Both brigadiers reporting to Lieutenant General Mbot. 7, I'm presently a subsection commander at TOMS, and my duties include open, inspect, and close inquiries of members within the unit, trace and extradite international fugitives as requested by other units within DPCI, tracking and tracing most wanted suspects or syndicates involved in serious organized crime, corruption, and serious commercial crime. Execution of warrants of arrests from all units within DPCI and tracing of suspects. Lead planned and unplanned operations conducted by the unit. Conducting surveillance, observation, and monitoring on armed robberies, cash in transit, hijacking of vehicles. Escort of suspects to court, also investigating officers and prosecutors. Profiling of people of interest and monitoring them. Combating crime on serious offenses which poses threat to the community. Do search and seizure operations on suspects and also Section 252A applications for operations. Conduct operational duties as directed by National Head and Divisional Commissioner of DPCI. Attend to management meetings within the unit and also lead members in meetings with third parties and other role players. Command and control of members on all operational taskings.
Witness I, before you continue, in 2001, when you were the team leader of SANAP, what were your duties then?
It was leading a team in investigating drug-related matters, smuggling and dealing and trafficking of drugs within the country.
And how many members were in your team?
I think they were four to five members.
And was the team leadership territorial, or how far did it extend?
Come again?
Was your team leadership territorial? We've heard testimony of another team leader, SANAP, also in Gauteng, so just want to understand in which area did you primarily operate?
It's Gauteng.
The entire Gauteng?
Yes.
Okay. And then just in terms of paragraph 7.9, what is a section 252A operation?
It's an entrapment application. Entrapment.
Thank you, Witness I. You can then proceed to the next topic, which is the events relating to the Ayrton drug bust of 9 July 2021.
Okay. Number 8. In 2020, around August, Sergeant Masuma opened an inquiry on an individual from Zambezi, Pretoria North, who was alleged to be dealing and transporting narcotics. Inquiry file is opened within the unit to do preliminary investigation and gather evidence. And once the file is court ready, the inquiry is converted into a docket. Copy of front cover of file attached as per 1. On 9 July 2021, at around 7 a.m., Sergeant Masuma notified me that he had received a tip-off the previous night about 23 bags of drugs en route from KwaZulu-Natal. The said tip-off was in relation to inquiry 6 of 8, 2020. I asked Sergeant Masuma to obtain more details regarding this tip-off, such as the truck details, number of people on the truck before we could act on the tip-off.
Witness I, just so that we can understand, when you say the said tip-off was in relation to the inquiry, what do you mean by
Yes.
that? What about it?
Because when he showed me the message, he said the message is in relation to the inquiry he's having, inquiry 6 of 8, 2020.
So
From the source.
was it because it was coming from a source that was involved in that inquiry, or how did you relate it to the inquiry?
Yeah, it's from a source which is in KZN in relation to this inquiry.
Thank you, Witness I. You can continue.
Okay. On 9 July 2021, while still on official duty at my office in Pretoria, I received a telephone call from Sergeant Pakola of K9 Unit. He contacted me with his number. He advised that he was called to address a scene regarding a truck suspected of transporting 23 bags of drugs in the Johannesburg area. Sergeant Pakola further indicated that the truck in question was also from Durban. I asked Sergeant Pakola to bring a narcotics dog to the scene and that he sends me the location of the scene. The information about the 23 bags of suspected drugs coincided with the information Sergeant Masuma had informed me of the same morning regarding the tip-off relating to Pretoria Inquiry 6 of 8, 2020 about drugs originating from Durban. I then called Sergeant Masuma to accompany me to the scene. According to our investigation, the drugs were associated with an individual who lives in Zambezi. The source who gave info of the 23 bags from Durban alleged the bags to be linked or connected with the subject addressed on the inquiry. Before leaving to the scene, I never reported to anyone. As a senior officer, I was scared or had a fear of information being compromised at a higher level. If the info was positive and related to our inquiry, the plan was to report after arrest to protect the info. I immediately went to Johannesburg with Sergeant Masoma from my office. Upon arriving at the location provided to me, we observed many officers, including DPCI, Organized Crime, Jimmy Stan, and Johannesburg members. We walked in and Sergeant Pakola of K9 took us to Warrant Officer Pakola from National Investigation Unit, Warrant Officer Moani from Zonkezizwe Police Station, and a member of Gauteng Traffic, later introduced to me as Mashaba. I requested that Warrant Officer Pakola explain the scene to me and identify the individual found driving the truck so I could review all relevant information and take charge of the scene, as I believed it to be connected to the inquiry being investigated by my office. I was briefed as follows. The driver of the truck transporting the drugs was identified to me while already under arrest, placed on some corner. The members were awaiting the arrival of the photographer to document the packages of drugs, which had been placed inside a police buggy. I questioned members there why the bags of drugs are in police buggy, and explanation I received was that when they opened the truck, the bags fell from the truck. That's why they were kept on police buggy. While still being briefed, I observed a general from the intelligence division, later known to me as Major General Khan, who did not introduce himself to the attending members, issuing instructions that those who located the truck containing drugs should be detained. One of the suspects, the driver, who was already detained by the members, was released from custody by Major General Khan. The truck that contained the drugs was never booked at Boysen's police station SAP-13, but kept at station until it was collected by owner. The scene was never handed to me. As observed, General Khan just hijacked and took over the scene by directing that the first people to scene, namely Warrant Officer Mohane, must get inside the black buggy by driver's seat and sit there and to never come out. As surprised by directive of General Khan, I learned later that it was a strategy or means to label Warrant Officer Mohane as trying to run away from scene. I then realized that Gauteng Hawk said Major General Ibrahim Kadwa was also there, as well as Brigadier Schobel, also of DPCI. I then engaged Brigadier Schobela, telling her about the 2020 inquiry. Generals Khan and Kadwa were running the scene, which is questionable as the two SMS members are holding strategic posts of generals. There is Brigadier, a Colonel, a Lieutenant Colonel, and Captain as officers to run scenes or operations. I tried to speak to Major General Kadwa to ask him what was happening. Major General Kadwa told me that Jimiston DPCI will deal with the scene. And I asked on what case number or inquiry number, since there was none, except the one by the Pretoria office. When I attempted to talk to Major General Kadwa about inquiry file from my office, he essentially avoided talking to me by evoking the sub's chain of command, and thus instructed me to rather address Brigadier Schobela instead of him directly. I also saw Colonel J.C. Madlanga from DPCI Organized Crime Johannesburg, who advised me to leave things alone and advised that me and my member should just provide our statement explaining what led us to come to scene from Pretoria, of which statements we wrote and left the scene. We left the scene after lunch, and GPCI, Jimiston, and Johannesburg members were there with General Kado. While still wandering there, Warrant Officer Pakula, Warrant Officer Mogane, Chief Mashaba of Traffic, and one black male unknown to me were placed under arrest as per instruction or directive of General Khan. While that was happening, Colonel J.C. Maluleke came to me and asked me and Sergeant Mosuma to make and write statements explaining how it happened that we come to scene, which we did. Colonel J.C. Maluleke said, if we don't make such statements, the generals will arrest us. They are in charge of scene. As weeks passed, I heard from Sergeant Pakula of K9 the drugs of the said scene were not sent to Forensic Science Laboratory but to Pretoria West Training College and kept there for more than a week before being sent to the FSL. I also learned that it was no longer same quantity collected from scene. Instead, the block of bricks was less by over 100 in number. As an experienced investigator, my observations of the scene indicated potential abuse of power and rank, the reason for which remain unclear. I advise all members, Morane, Pakule, and Mashaba, who were placed under arrest, to consider lodging a case of defeating the ends of justice against General Khan and General Kadu. I was concerned that these actions appear to be an effort to protect both the driver of the truck found with drugs and to obscure the origin of the vehicle and its contents. The fact that General Khan took driver of truck where he was contained and moved him away from the scene so he can disappear. This was clear manipulation of members and the misuse of authority to pursue undisclosed or improper objectives is unacceptable and must be addressed within the framework of the law. On the day in question, it was evident that certain individuals functioned as if they were above the law, which was troubling to witness, particularly given that law enforcement personnel were being subjected to such treatment by senior officers. At the scene, I immediately called Office of the National Head, Lieutenant General Libya, for me to come and have a meeting with him on what transpired. I went and consulted with Lieutenant General Libya the same day by late afternoon to report what happened at the scene. In that meeting, Lieutenant General Libya promised to look on the matter and give me feedback, which was never done. Lieutenant General Libya took notes of our discussion.
Witness, before you move on to the next topic, I just want to ask you a few questions for clarity. If you can go back to paragraph 11, there you indicate that Sergeant Pakula of the K9 unit called you. Why did he call you?
Oh, commissioners, maybe I should indicate. I have contacts with several units of SAPS, like K9, Flying Squad, National Intervention Unit, several units of SAPS. members were informed that I'm team leader of SANAP, and if they hear or have a scenario where drugs-related things are there, they should inform me. And I believe that's the reason why Sergeant Pakula phoned me, because he's one of the members informed that I'm team leader of SANAP. If there's any scene or matter related to drugs, they need to contact me.
And this contact is just to alert you of the scene, or is it also asking some sort of permission?
No, it's also asking engagement, since drugs-related matters is DPCI, which is dealing with it. And some of the times, the members from various units, they do call me for advice on other issues.
Okay, and in this instance, he was already activated or called to the scene. Is there a reason then why you had to tell him to bring the dog to the scene?
Yeah, because if they say they are drugs, we need to confirm for sure if they are really drugs. And since I know he works at K9, but I don't know his dog, if it's a narcotics dog or it's which dog. That's why I requested a narcotics dog.
All right, and then if we can go to...
Before you do that, would he not ordinarily know if he's been called and told that it's a narcotics operation that he's being called, or he's been, to use your language, that he's being activated for? Would he not know as a given that he has to bring a narcotics dog?
It is, Commissioner, but for certainty, that's why I requested him.
Okay.
Now, if we can go to paragraph 12 of your statement.
Yes, Commissioner?
Just to get a better sense, you indicated earlier in your statement that broadly an inquiry is used as a preliminary stage in investigations. When an officer opens an inquiry, what steps do you take?
Come again? I
Generally-
didn't get that.
Generally, you've explained in your statement what the purpose of an inquiry is. My question to you
Yes.
is generally what steps do you take when opening an inquiry?
No, the inquiry is opened on the CAS system, and a file is opened with the alleged criminality being indicated, either as a statement or as info note. And it's given to a member to run and start conducting preliminary investigations on the inquiry to get evidential material.
And is this process monitored by your commanders?
Yes.
Thank you. And ordinarily, does it include things like the target that you're investigating?
Yeah, as the investigation proceeds, it will include the targets you're investigating and network of those targets and everything about them.
Thank you, Witness I. Now, at paragraph 13, you indicate that you didn't report to a senior officer or out of fear of information being compromised. What do you mean by that? At a higher level, you say?
Yes, to me, it was a general knowledge to me, even to other members, that there's a conflict of interest with SMS members when it comes to narcotics within SAPS. And if information is made out or knowledgeable, it happens that the mission, it won't be accomplished as the target will be tipped off or it will come to their knowledge.
When you say conflict of interest with senior members, what do you mean by conflict of interest?
Not conflict per se, or maybe let me just put it as the matter or the case could be compromised.
Okay, it could be compromised. Are you simply saying that some of your senior managers may be working with people who have interest in drugs? Is that what you're saying?
Yes.
And then you say this is common knowledge.
Yeah, even though members won't publicly speak about it, but within corridors and on the street, they speak of it, off record.
All right, thank you. And then...
Sorry, can I just ask about paragraph 13? If you had had to report, if you had had to inform someone to where you are going, who would it have been if you were doing things openly without keeping this information to yourself for the reason that you are stating? Who would you be reporting it to?
To the unit commander, Commissioner.
And the unit commander being who at the time? Who was the unit commander?
It was Colonel Bok.
Bok. So he was your immediate superior?
Yes.
Okay. And that's the only person that you would have had to inform, I'm going out on this tip-off?
Not only him. Then there were 3 full colonels. There were other 2 full colonels.
Mm. But your immediate superior was Colonel Bok?
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Witness I, when you then, in the same paragraph, you say if the information was positive and related to our inquiry, what do you mean by info being positive?
Remember, I received a call that there's a truck suspected to be having drugs. And my intention and reason I went there with Masoma was to verify the info I received and check if it's true and correct, Commissioner.
Which info were you trying to confirm? The one from your informant or the one from Sergeant Pakul?
The one from Sergeant Pakula together with the one from the source received by my mem.
All right. And then in paragraph 15, you explained that you wanted a briefing in order for you to take over the scene. How did you, in what instances do you take over the scene, and how's that decision made when there are multiple officers at the scene?
I needed to assess all the information they had to brief me about that scene. And then from then, I'll assess it if it is connected or related to our office inquiry. And if it is, it's common knowledge that we should be taking over the scene, as it will have been related to what we have been investigating.
All right, thank you, Witness I. And then just in paragraph 16, where you talk about Major General Khan issuing instructions, to whom was he issuing instructions?
When I first saw him, he was near DPCI, Jimiston and Joburg members. And he was approaching where I was standing by the bike being briefed by Warrant Officer Pakul.
Now you are describing where he was going, but my question is, you say he was issuing instructions to members, including to release the detained truck driver. Who was he telling these instructions? Who was to execute this?
Oh, the instruction I heard him saying was that Warrant Officer Mogani must get inside the driver's seat of the black bike and that he must never come out. And he moved, I believe Chief Mashaba was somewhere near his vehicle, or he was not where I was being briefed. I don't know what did he say to him because it was far of a distance. And he came back to the scene where the buggy was, and I believe he went to, at the back of the buggy, I think he was speaking with the people from who were receiving the goods from the buggy.
All right, so he was issuing instructions to the DPCI members, you say, and then also issued instructions to the officers that were on the scene, the first three.
Yes, yes.
All right, thank you. And then at paragraph 19, you say that Generals Khan and Kadwa were running the scene. You've explained in detail what General Khan was doing, but you don't say what General Kadwa was doing when you say he was running the scene.
General Kadwa, when he came to the scene, he stood also near the Johannesburg Jimiston members where they were, and I saw General Khan with him. I think he stood with him for a long time, which I suspect maybe he was briefing him. And after briefing him, General Kadwa spoke with some of the members from Jimiston office. That's what I'm saying. Both they were they were running the scene.
Okay, so General Kadwa's role was that he got a briefing from General Khan and then spoke to his members.
Yes.
All right. And then at paragraph 22, you say that you learned that after the drugs were stored at Pretoria West College, you say you learned that the number was no longer the same. You learned that from who?
From Pakul of K9.
And did you know what the initial number was and what the number that was submitted is?
No, I didn't. But from evidence led is when now I learn of the numbers.
I'm asking, at the time when you say Sergeant Pakula told you about the change in the quantity, and you say it was no longer the same quantity collected at the scene, instead the block of bricks was less by over 100 in number.
Yes.
So did you know what the number was before?
No, I didn't know the exact number. Which one was it?
All right, so you just took Sergeant Pakula's, what he was telling you about what happened with the drugs?
Yes.
All right, thank you. And then at paragraph 24, you say that General Khan took the driver of the truck where he was contained and moved him away from the scene so he can disappear. What do you mean that he can disappear?
That's the suspicion I had.
Okay.
Because the driver was detained, but General Khan took him out of the scene.
Okay.
That's why I suspect he wanted him to disappear from the scene.
All right. And when you say there that on the day in question it was evident that certain individuals functioned as if they were above the law, when you say certain individuals, who do you mean?
I mean General Khan.
And you say it in the plural. Who else do you mean?
Both General Khan and Khan.
Okay. Thank you, Witness I. You can then proceed with the next topic, which is the investigations by IPID into the Ayrton drug bust. That's at paragraph 26 of your statement.
Okay. The Independent Police Investigative Directorate, IPID, investigated the events that occurred on 9 July 2021. As part of their recommendations, IPID specifically called for disciplinary action to be taken against Major General Khan for his conduct at the scene. I don't know from IPID what was recommended about all DPCI members and seniors. I was interviewed and gave my account of what transpired at the scene, providing a detailed description of the events as I witnessed them. I made sure to emphasize the actions of all involved parties, my concerns about the handling of the scene, and the sequence of instruction issued by the senior officers present. My statement was recorded as part of the ongoing investigation. Point number 28, Commissioner, I think I might be mistaken. I wrote during 2023, I believe it should be during 2024. During 2024, I also became aware of a departmental investigation by Major General Kherpa, Mpumalanga DPCI Provincial Head, who was tasked to investigate Major General Kadwa and other DPCI members, as well as what transpired at the scene. I was told that Major General Kherpa concluded that Generals Khan and Kadwa were doing their job. General Kherpa interviewed me at DPCI head office in Silverton. I did not find this comforting. From information from various sources, allegations are that Major General Khan is known to oversee drug coming from KZN or Beam Party to transactions in relation to them. All these allegations are just hearsay, rumors said by various people.
Whether General Libya ever became aware of these rumors that there was such talk, and you say it's hearsay, and I'm not placing it higher than that. I just want to know whether this, which was referred to as corridor talk by another witness, whether you ever became aware or have a reason or had a reason ever to think and believe that General Libya has had these rumors as well.
I'm not sure about that, Commissioner.
Okay, thank you.
Witness I, you can go to paragraph 30 of your statement.
Thanks. Prior to dealing with the meeting of 29 January 2025, it is important for me to explain who Brown Mokgotsi is and my involvement with him. I first met Mr. Mokgotsi during 2020 around Rustenburg as a source who gave information about illegal conduct and practices around Northwest.
Witness I, just one moment. Commissioners, there is a name in this section. I've already spoken to the witness to refer to that name as a colonel in crime intelligence. Witness I, you can continue to paragraph 32.
Before
On
you,
29 January,
witness I, before you do that, in that paragraph 31, where you say you know Mr. Mokotsi as a source who gave information about illegal conduct and practices around Northwest, as a source to you.
no, not to me.
Yes? Can you
You are
just,
said to be, you are said to be a businessman who knows a lot of things and frequently reports irregularities within the Northwest Province.
okay, so you were told that by somebody, that that's what he does?
Yes,
Okay, all right.
yes.
And do you have did you ever get information of what kind of information, illegal conduct he reports on to Northwest?
No, they said just malpractice within the Northwest Province.
You say in 31 that you met him, so you did have a physical meeting with him in 2020.
No, maybe Commissioner, I should have phrased it in another way. I
Yes.
saw him in 2020. It's like first time seeing him. It was that day. But I never communicated with him.
Okay. And when you saw him in 2020, what was the context? In what context did you get to see him or to be in the same space with him in 2020?
No, he was someone who was speaking aloud. I think we were at KFC. He's someone who was speaking aloud and who was it? I think it was Mike. A question. I said, "Who's this guy? He speaks aloud." They said, "No, it's Brown. He's a businessman around here, and he knows a lot of things which are happening here, which are irregular or are wrong."
Okay. All right. Thank you.
And witness, have you ever run any operations with him?
No.
All right, thank you. Witness, you can proceed with paragraph 32.
Okay. On 29 January 2025, I met Mr. Mokotsi and CI member. The meeting was facilitated by Mr. Vusi Matlala through Warrant Officer Faleni Zungu, now Captain. Captain Zungu called me and said there are people who want to consult with you in respect of a matter I'm a witness to involving General Khan. I asked who the people are which he did not disclose and where can I find them. Captain Zungu said they are at U10 Hotel in Sandton as we speak and I can find them there.
Witness
I
I.
went to the
Witness I. This Captain Zungu, is he a member of the DPCI?
Then he was a member of DPCI, but now he moved.
Okay. Thank you.
Witness, before you step off that paragraph, you say that Captain Zungu gave you the call. What facilitative role did Mr. Matlala play?
I don't know. He just informed me he was phoned by his source that there are people who wants to see me.
Oh, so Captain Zungu was telling you that he heard from Mr. Matlala that people want to see you.
Yes.
All right, thank you. You can continue.
I went to the meeting venue with Warrant Officer Matlaba, who works under me at Tom's. And taking Warrant Officer Matlaba with me was in respect of assistant with state vehicle, as I was not in possession of any state vehicle, and he was. But Warrant Officer Matlaba stayed in the car when we got to the hotel. At the meeting in the hotel, I was directed to go by the couches next to the reception of hotel. I was surprised to find it was Mr. Brown Mokgotsi and CI member. I also know the CI member as we worked together at the DSO Scorpion before it was disbanded. I immediately suspected something sinister to come out of this meeting. I learned later that the meeting was recorded. I decided to play along. The CI member said they needed to fix things, meaning me making a statement clearing Major General Khan at the disciplinary hearing in respect of the drug bust at Eraten. I refused and told him I couldn't change my statement as that will amount to perjury and I could be charged on that. I asked why I should do that and for what purpose. The CI guy said that I will get a bag and they will facilitate for me to get a promotion at work if I help Major General Khan. I explained that I will fight for my promotion as I already did by lodging a grievance for promotional post for which I had already been interviewed. I then informed them that they should bring the bag as suggested as a means of entrapping them. My intention in suggesting that they bring the bag was to see if they will go ahead with the bribery, then I will arrest them. As I departed, I explained everything to Warrant Officer Matlava in the car and said I will await the next contact for a meeting, then we'll use Tom's office for bust on bribery. The above was never reported as it will get to ears of the targeted people and reporting would have been done after arrest to evade blocking or obstruction from seniors. They never brought the bag and never had any further discussion about the bag. I have never gone to KZN regarding the General Khan's matter. I have also never met Major General Khan as I never liked him since the Araten scene.
Thank you, witness. I can continue.
During January 2025, I was phoned by
Sorry,
Major General.
so please read the headings as well.
Oh, sorry, Commissioner. Major General Khan disciplinary hearing. During January 2025, I was phoned by Major General Kumalo, District Commissioner of KZN, informing me that I will be receiving a subpoena to come lead evidence on a disciplinary matter against General Khan on what happened at Araten scene, and that General Kumalo will be employer representative and General Mukwanazi will be chairperson of the hearing. I consulted with General Kumalo at task force offices in Pretoria West in preparation for the hearing as a witness on the case.
Yes,
All members.
Witness I, the General Kumalo here, it is still Major General Kumalo, not
Yeah,
Lieutenant.
the district. Yes.
Okay, thank you.
All members who were witnesses led evidence from 17 February 2025 to 21st February 2025 as planned and arranged with General Kumar. Statements made which depict what transpired on the said day were used as evidence in the disciplinary hearing. Around end of February 2025, I found out that Lieutenant General Mukwanazi had acquitted Major General Khan for reasons unclear to me. Why I say unclear to me is fact that acquittal verdicts, General Mukwanazi said witnesses were not clear and contradicted each other. He also noted that the evidence was not sufficient. Shall I go to the next topic?
Yes, please.
The title is My Knowledge of Mr. Vusiket Matlala. I know Mr. Vusi Matlala as he was an informer that assisted Toms with tip-offs regarding several successful operations. The tip-offs came through Captain Faleni Zungu, who worked at Toms, resulted in the permanent arrest of mostly wanted, feared and dangerous suspects. Skumbuzo Dlamini and James Nkwana, aka John Wick. I didn't know cases against Vusi Matlala when Captain Zungu was dealing with him as an informer, except later what was on the news and social media. The only thing which was known to me was that Kat is a businessman having several companies. I've heard of the allegations that Mr. Vusi Matlala is using subs to eliminate his opposition. This is unknown to me as I never had an operation or been involved in an operation where Toms was used by any individual. The first time I met Mr. Vusi Matlala was when Brigadier Mukwena was trying to extort him, Mr. Vusi Matlala, using me and Captain Zungu. After the John Wick scene, Brigadier Mukwena claimed the scene was a hit. He asked me and Captain Zungu to call Kat, and we met at Colbane Golf Shooting Range. Brigadier Mukwena said he had a source or a complainant from General Libya's office which had evidence to the fact that the John Wick scene was a hit, and Brigadier Mukwena wanted to consult with Mr. Matlala to see how he can fix this. By fixing it meant that Mr. Matlala pays something so Brigadier Mukwena can give to the source in order to keep the source quiet. Mr. Vusi Matlala was surprised.
Witness, just
Yes.
before you move from that, when you say after the John Wick scene, in the previous paragraph you said John Wick was one of the feared and dangerous suspects that was permanently arrested. So is the John Wick scene that arrest, or is it something else? Because you say the scene was a hit.
Yes.
So what is the John Wick scene? The arrest, or is it something else?
The permanent arrest, yes.
All right.
Do you describe a arrest as a hit? Because you say in that paragraph 43 that the scene was a hit. Is an arrest a hit?
No, the suspect on that scene were fatally wounded, Commissioner.
So where you say the scene was a hit, you mean where John Wick, a scene where John Wick was fatally shot or wounded?
Yes, Commissioner.
Okay.
Yes.
Thank you. Thank you, Ms. Boy.
You can continue with SI. Paragraph 44.
Paragraph
44.
Yes. Mr. Vusi Matlala was present, denied everything alleged by Brigadier Mukwena and said investigation can continue and the perpetrators be arrested. At the meeting, I asked Brigadier Mkwena if we could have a meeting with the source and get more details and facts. Brigadier Mkwena refused the request. He said, I cannot consult with the source as it is a high-profile matter of top secret dealt with between him, National Head General Libya, and source. I noted that this is a non-existent, as by then Brigadier Mkwena did not have top secret clearance and observed me and Zungu are just being used in an attempt to extort money from Mr. Madlanga.
Witness, before you move on to the next topic, when you say that you and Zungu are being used, in what sense? Is it just to introduce Brigadier Mukwena to Mr. Matlala, or was there more to it?
No, personally, because at the end I noted that this thing of a source or complainant is non-existent. So that's why I say we were just being used.
Okay. Thank you, witness. You can move on to the next topic where you deal with the Sun City case.
Okay, title it's Sun City, case 41 of 9/2024. I have also been asked to speak about case number Sun City 41 of 9/2024. This case stems from what happened at Sun City in Northwest, leading to Rustenburg SAPS Sun City case 41 of 9/2025 and Tom's inquiry 7 of 9/2024. The complainants are known to the Commission. This relates to the interference and involvement of Lieutenant General Mbod. On 6 August 2024, Tom's unit arrested 17 suspects and seized 32 firearms. The suspects were booked at Sun City Police Station, and Lieutenant Colonel Gekwane, then he was a captain, approached my team informing me he is there to take over the case as it fell within DPCI Northwest jurisdiction and mandate. I agreed as I was the one who made calls requesting members of DPCI Northwest to take over the docket. Before a docket was opened, Tom's went there and operated on Tom's inquiry 7 of 9/2024 on allegations of possessions of illegal firearms. Lieutenant Colonel Gekwane informed me he is there as per instruction of Lieutenant General Mbod. At the time, he was Major General Mbod, was the provincial head of Northwest of DPCI. Due to lack of space at Sun City Police Station, the suspects were detained at Rustenburg Police Station. We arrived at Rustenburg SAPS after 1800 hours on 6 August 2024. Lieutenant Colonel Gekwane requested me to answer a call he was busy with his mobile number. As I was taking the phone from Lieutenant Colonel Gekwane, Lieutenant Colonel Gekwane informed me beforehand that he was speaking with General Mboto and that the general wanted to speak with me. During the conversation I had with General Mboto, he asked me why Tom's arrested security guards with registered firearms as he was told by Colonel Gekwane. I informed General Mboto that it was a lie as the security which was found at the scene was tight security whose members were wearing black security uniform. I informed him that the Tom's team checked the firearms they had and confirmed that they had registered permits for all firearms in their possession. The 17 suspects arrested were in civilian clothing and there were no registered permits and licenses to possess firearms for all 32 firearms seized. General Mboto was insisting firearms belonged to security company and are legal. That was his final stand on the phone. Lieutenant Colonel Gekwane was with Toms for the night at Rustenburg SAPS, insisting that the arrested people were security and the firearms seized had permits. Information availed to Toms from sources was that the arrested suspects were hitmen or inkabi, hired and working for Ms. Mpopo. Lieutenant Colonel Gekwane was on his cell phone for most of the night with General Mboto. The Toms team processed the suspects and detained them and booked all 32 firearms in the SAP 13. After midnight on 7 August 2024, I received a call from my section head, Brigadier Smith, who informed me that the national head, Lieutenant General Libya, was trying to call me and I was not answering his calls. Brigadier Smith asked me to call back the national head. After 0100, I saw a missed call from the national head and went to the car to call him back. General Libya wanted to know the basis upon which Toms arrested the 17 suspects and seized 32 firearms. I explained and General Libya informed me that the firearms registry works 24 hours and I can contact them and check the 32 firearms seized if they are registered, and if so, we can hand them back. I objected to the suggestion of General Libya, explaining that arrest is not only on legitimacy of firearms, but on fact that the suspects allegedly fired shots at innocent members of the public on the mine plant 2 days back, on Wednesday, the 4th of August 2024. I therefore wanted all 32 firearms to be sent to ballistics to be assessed and checked to identify firearms that shot on the said day. General Libya acknowledged my explanation and said that he will not interfere with my work and that I should do as planned with my Toms team. Later in the same morning, Brigadier Smith phoned me and informed me that General Mboto said that the whole team of Toms that operated on the scene must go back to the police station and make statements, as the statements made when opening the case might be incomplete and the case may not be placed on the court roll on Monday, the 9th of September 2024. Which was incorrect, as request that we go back and make statement was to display a sense that suspects were innocent. I informed all members of Toms that were present on scene that we go back and meet at Rustenburg SAPS again to provide statements. The same day, after 1300 hours on arrival at Rustenburg SAPS, Tom's team found and communicated with Colonel Gekwane as instructed. Colonel Gekwane wanted to lead Tom's members on what to write and say in their statements, which Colonel Gekwane insisted was as per the instruction of General Mboto. I refused and instructed members to write what really transpired, and I also wrote a statement attached here as to the Tom's team left Rustenburg SAPS expecting the 17 suspects to appear in court on 9 August 2024, and also that the 32 firearms seized will be sent to ballistic for testing as normal procedure and protocol. I learned after a few days that nothing is expected to happen to the arrested suspect and seized exhibits. It is alleged that the suspects never went to court but were released for unknown reasons, and all firearms seized were returned back to the suspects. Attached S3, its success report written at Tom's office with all details of suspects and firearms seized. My conclusion and suspicion on the above matter are corrupt activities by SAPS senior members with a suspected individual named Ms. Mpopowe, who is alleged to use threats and violence against innocent members of the public for mining rights. After the scene at Sun City, there were rumors and allegations made on the streets that Brigadier Mokoena is collecting protection fee from Ms. Mpopowe every month, suspected to be for him and General Mboto. This can be further corroborated by the fact that General Mboto, after his appointment as Divisional Commissioner of DPCI, visited the Tom's office to introduce himself and meet the team, but started making threats to the unit during the introduction. He insisted that all members must inform him of every work-related movement and that no member should conduct work outside Gauteng without his knowledge and approval. He also mentioned that members need to explain themselves what operations, why and where. The whole time he was at office, he was threatening members and promising to deal with them. He also indicated that he does not want like the Tom's unit, and that he intends talking to the national head that Tom's falls under General Flynn because he does not want Tom's near him. All allegations above were never investigated further by any member from Tom's, and don't know if DPCI Northwest also investigated the allegations. Brown Mokgotsi alleged he participated in this operation at Sun City, which he was not. I only briefed him of the case and corruption in his province.
Thank you, Witness I. In relation to this case, did you ever report it to anyone?
Yeah, after a year, I reported the matter to IPIT. And I reported the matter to IPIT, and nothing was done by IPIT in the sense that when I asked status, they said the same docket is still under investigation and there's nothing they could do. Around 2025, I wrote an email to Ian Cameron, the chairperson of the Portfolio Committee of Police in Parliament, about that and conduct of General Mboto.
And in relation to the IPIT report, Do you know who the investigating officer was in that regard?
It was Tagalani Maposh.
And then in relation to Mr. Ian Cameron, did you ever get a response?
There were, I believe, 2 or 3 conversations, because the initial email, as I requested Mr. Ian Cameron to have a meeting with me, and he responded in relation to what I said. I will explain everything when we meet in person, not through email. He said no, he can't secure an appointment with me if I don't give him a title of what we are going to discuss. I explained that it's in relation to conduct of General Mboto and Brigadier Mukwena. Ever since I gave him the title, he never came back to me to date.
All right. And then witness I, just to go back to paragraph 52, I just have one clarity question there, where you talk about the call you received from Brigadier Smith informing you that General Mboto wanted you to go back to the scene to make statements as the statements were incomplete. In your words, you say, later in the morning, Brigadier Smith phoned me and informed me that General Mboto said that the whole team of Toms that operated on the scene must go back to the police station and make statements, as the statements made when opening the case might be incomplete and the case may not be placed on the roll on Monday, and you give the date. Then you say in brackets, which was incorrect, as request that we go back and make statement was to display a sense that suspects were innocent. What do you mean? Are you trying to convey to us that they were trying to get you to change those statements, indicating that the people arrested were innocent?
Yes, Commissioner, because when we got back, Colonel Gekwane said he wanted to instruct my members on what to put on the statements, which I refused to.
And what did he want you to put on the statements?
No, we never got to details of what he wanted, because immediately he said, on statements you need to indicate. I said, no, you can't be instructing members on what to write, because they were on the scene, they know what really transpired, they'll write everything that transpired on the scene. You need not to guide them. That's what I said.
All right, thank you. And then at paragraph 48, where you talk about the call that you received from General Mboto, you indicated that he was insisting that the firearms belong to security company and that they're legal. Was he asking you to do something, or was he just telling you that that was his view?
He was telling me that was his view, but in giving me his view, I sensed that maybe he wanted us to release the suspects with the firearms.
All right. Thank you. Those are the clarity-seeking questions on my side, Commissioners.
Can I just ask a clarity question? Witness I, at paragraph 57 of your statement, where you speak about Mr. Mokhotsi, you say you briefed him of the case and corruption in his province, but I'm more interested in the case. Why would you brief him on this case in particular? You don't give a context. There's no history of your ever discussing, at least in your statement, of you discussing this case with him or any involvement of his in this case. So, and absent that kind of context, it's a statement that appears suddenly that you briefed him. Why would you do that?
Commissioner, when I met him with the CI member 29 January, He asked me about the case. He said, "Are you the one who was working on the scene of Sun City?" I said, "Yes."
And then after that, did you talk to him about this case? This is a case, just hold on. This is a case in 2024. And then when you meet him in January, he asks you about it.
Yes, Commissioner.
Yeah, and apart from this asking and you answering him, was there any other interaction about this case? When he testified, as I recall, I think he relied on photographs, on what he said were photographs of the scene with some people lying on the ground and I think some weapons on the ground, and that was for him to show us that he was involved in that operation. Where would he have gotten that?
I'm not sure if when I briefed him, I showed him the picture or what.
Okay, so that it's possible. You think you would have had to share them with him for him to produce them at the commission. You think you might have done that? You may have shared that with him.
I think I might have done that, Commissioner.
Okay, all right. Thank you.
What would have been your reason to brief Mr. Mokgotsi about the case and the corruption in his province?
No, he asked about the case. He said, was it another Maluleke who was leading the team or it was yourself on the set day?
Okay, let me just check this with you. I may have my facts wrong. Is this the same case that involved an alleged Zamazama kingpin who was wanted by the police?
No, this one, it involves a person who's taking mining rights from lawful owners of the mining rights.
But he's not a Zamazama kingpin.
Commissioner, I don't know if you label as a Zamazama kingpin.
No, I'm
But the
asking you.
person-
I'm asking you because you are the one who says you briefed Mokgotsi about this case. So if you say to me this case has nothing to do with a Zamazama kingpin, I will leave it at that. So it's not about you labeling the person or not.
Okay, Commissioner.
So can you just clarify that for me? Does it or does it not involve an alleged Zamazama kingpin?
We could label it either way, Commissioner, because the person takes away mining rights from lawful owners and mines on those mines. So the person will be behaving like a Zamazama because the plants where will he be mining does not belong to him, is the one which she hijacked or took by force.
Yeah. And then lastly, this may seem insignificant to you, but we are looking at the bigger picture and trying to make sense and connecting the dots of all the things. Because at a certain point, Mr. Mokgotsi had a discussion with Minister Mkunu about whether a person has been arrested or not and whether an arrest has been made. And when this commission asked him who he was referring to, and it was around the same time, December, January 2025, he said the discussion was about an alleged kingpin in the Northwest. So that's why I'm trying to understand if this is the same person and you are the one who briefed Mr. Mokgotsi about this case.
No, Commissioner, our operation, the arrest was in September 2024. Maybe he was referring to another matter, not ours.
So with this one, the arrest was in September 2024?
Yes, Commissioner.
All right, thank you.
Commissioner Kumalo, just on that, the arrest in this instance was of the hitman, and the arrest that Mr. Mokgotsi was referring to was when the Zama Zama kingpin himself was actually arrested, and that was in December, Jan.
That's exactly the question I'm asking.
Yes, no, just to clarify that
I was
they are
not
two
asking
different.
about the hitman. I specifically asked about the alleged Zama Zama kingpin. But if this witness cannot assist, then I will leave it there.
Witness I, can I just clarify, in this Sun City case, in paragraph 45, you give us it's two things, in fact, that I want to ask about. The one is you have a Sun City case number, and then you have a Tom's inquiry number. I had understood, and perhaps I misunderstood, I had understood from previous evidence that an inquiry number or an inquiry is opened if there are no known suspects. And let me stop there. If there are no known suspects. Am I wrong in that understanding?
No, Commissioner.
So why would you have an inquiry number if there are known people here, either because Mboto is the known suspect or the people that you arrested? Why inquiry number?
Commissioner, when allegations were brought to our office, I opened inquiry number so members can start doing preliminary investigation on.
I see.
I will say we were fortunate on this matter that not long after the inquiry has been opened, the suspect shot at public members, and we had to react and act on it.
Okay. All right, thank you. And then still on that same paragraph, you've given us the names of the complainants. Are these complainants against General Mboto or against the suspect who takes people's mining rights?
They are against the suspect who takes mining rights.
I see.
Because the suspect was taking their mining rights.
And these people are civilians, these complainants here?
Yes, Commissioner.
Okay. And then paragraph 46, where we're still in the Sun City case number. Tom's unit arrested 17 suspects. Does Tom's operate across the country? It doesn't have jurisdiction boundaries. Is that what it means, that you did an arrest in the Northwest?
Yeah, it's a national unit, Commissioner, servicing all units within DPCI nationally.
Okay. Oh, okay. Then, in paragraph 46, when you receive information about incidents that are happening or this complaint that relates to the Northwest, how does it work that you then operationalize this from, as I understand, from head office? You don't relay it to Northwest to operationalize. I know you say you did give it over to Kekwane. You invited them to become involved with this, but that from the outset, you went on and did an operation instead of alerting Northwest TOMS or DPCI to deal with it. How does it work normally?
At TOMS, Commissioner, we operate nationally everywhere. And at some instances, when we need the provincial police unit members for assistance, we request that.
Okay. So when General Mboto says you must not work outside of Gauteng without notifying him or informing him, effectively that direction is limiting what you say as a matter of law, you have the jurisdiction to do. You operate everywhere, and then he gives his directive that you may not work outside of Gauteng without him knowing.
Commissioners, the generals are informed whenever Toms is working out of the province because itineraries are signed by the general. Here, the problem is that General Mboto wants to know all nitty-gritties of the matter, what you are working on, who are the suspects, what's happening, which is seen as conflicting in that, as a general, they should only be concerned with success of the unit once arrest has been made. Not knowledge of the suspects being addressed or being dealt with by the unit.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Witness I. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you very much, Witness I. We continue tomorrow at 9:30. Let's adjourn.
Thanks.
The World Cup does not arrive the same for all of us. For some, it begins in a lounge. For some, in the voice on the radio. For others, in the crowd before the crowd. When the moment comes, it finds all of us.